So I just finished watching the last Sith history video, and now I'm gonna jump right into the next one. So welcome back, guys, to another reaction to the Sith history. If you're new to the channel, welcome. So my guess was correct, because just judging by the title, it says the rise and fall of the Sith Empire, and I did mention that my guess for the third faction was gonna be the Sith Empire, and see like where it goes. So one of the cinematics I remember was like the Sith, not Sith Empire, the Eternal. Oh, and by the way, did I say Sith Empire? I mean Eternal Empire. My bad, guys, my bad. I mean, just naturally, if it has the word Empire, so far in the Old Republic videos, naturally I just want to say Sith, but I'm sorry, Eternal Empire. And I do remember in the Eternal Empire cinematic trailers that there were twin boys, and there was the father who turned out to be the Sith Empire. Emperor. God, what's going on today? What's going on? Hey guys, it's early in the morning. The Sith Emperor, and basically I remember like at the time when I was watching it, I didn't understand, and they were just like both killing both like Republic, Jedi, and Sith. And so that's why I was thinking like, whoa, is this like a brand new faction that's like just like wiping out like both sides or something? So now it looks like this video is gonna be explaining the rise and fall of that Eternal Empire. So without anything else, let's get into it.
When we last left off, the Republic and Sith Empire had just wrapped up the Revanite crisis and were back at war with one another. The Great Galactic War didn't last long, however, before an enemy that all thought defeated reared his ugly head and gave both factions something to really worry about. Emperor Vitiate was back, and he brought friends in the form of the Eternal Empire of Zakuul. Today, we'll be taking a look at how this wannabe god and his toy empire nearly consumed all life in the galaxy.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
It's crazy the fact that he created another faction and empire.
If you recall from our last video, Emperor Vitiate had been defeated at the Hero of Tython, much to the relief of pretty much everyone. Later, when Revan tried to resurrect him, the galaxy went, oh hell nah, and did their best to stop him. At the time, however, it wasn't really clear what the Emperor's true status was.
This guy's commentary is kind of funny too.
It turns out, didn't take long to clarify. In 3636 BBY, the Republic and Sith Empire was squabbling over the Imperial world of Ziost. The Empire was there because, well, they owned the place, and the Republic was there because they'd heard rumors the Emperor was sniffing around. SIS agents and the Sixth Line, a zealot sect of Jedi, had infiltrated the world to look for clues, thus setting the stage for Vitiate's return. With the ritual of possession, Vitiate took over the bodies of the Jedi and several other key figures, and explained his plan to absorb all life on the planet. In the end, he succeeded, draining every living being dry save for a few that managed to escape. Ziost was dead. Long live the Emperor. So, where had Vitiate been? Well, it turns out the person known as Vitiate wasn't quite what he seemed. The Emperor had begun life as a Sith pureblood hundreds of years ago. Back then, he had been known as Tenebrae, and he hungered for power. Using a Sith ritual, much like the one he later deployed on Ziost, he had absorbed all life on his homeworld Nathema. He used his life force to stay alive long past his lifespan. When the body he was in died or decayed, he could move his soul into another body and carry on. That's how he survived the attack during the Cold War. His body died, but he moved on to another one, and this dapper-looking fellow was Valkorion. Valkorion,
there you go,
found himself bored with his Sith Empire. It was a failure in his eyes, and so he left it behind to find a new toy to play with. That toy was the Eternal Empire of Zakuul, and he was its emperor, with a wife and 3 kids. While the Republic and Sith Empire were busy fighting each other, the Eternal Fleet came out of nowhere, raided their worlds, and retreated back into wild space. Chasing after Valkorion, Darth Maul took the Imperial Fleet and the Outlander, a prominent figure who'd helped uncover the Revanite conspiracy, into wild space, where they were captured by the Eternal Fleet and brought to Zakuul. There, Emperor Valkorion greeted them in the throne room and promised them power if they were to kneel. Darth Maul refused and was killed, but before the Outlander could react, one of his sons, killed his father, put the Outlander in carbonate, and took the throne for himself, from which he waged a destructive and brutal war on the galaxy.
Oh yeah, that's
within a year,
one of the twin brothers.
Arkin had conquered the galaxy. His Eternal Fleet, an Iokath design that far, far exceeded anything the Republic or Sith had to pit against it, devastated their combined militaries and forced a surrender from both factions. The Republic and Sith had to pay heavy tribute to Zakuul, and Zakuulan control stations, named Star Fortresses, remained in place above key worlds to make sure they towed the line. Although the war was short, it was brutal, with many prominent figures losing their life or going into exile. The Jedi Order was scattered once more, unable to take out the Knights of Zakuul. Grandmaster Satil Shan went missing, and Empress Achina took the throne of the Sith Empire.
Wow.
The peace that followed was fragile. For 5 years, the galaxy held its breath, but under the surface, a resistance was forming. Lana Beniko and Theron Shan, the two people instrumental in uncovering the Revanite conspiracy, formed an alliance. This alliance gathered people from all corners of the galaxy, Empire, Republic, and unaffiliated worlds, to bring down their Zakuulan overlords. With some effort, they rescued the Outlander, who became the Alliance commander. Things got messy when they realized Valkorion was living in the Outlander's head. But let's back up a step once again. We talked about the Emperor and his family. First, there was Valkorion, who married a Zakuulan woman named SWTOR. She gave birth to 2 twin boys, Thexan and Arkin, and 1 girl, Vaylin. Things didn't go well. Vaylin was born with incredible force abilities, but she was a bit of a sociopath.
Yep,
so
cinematic
they
trailer.
shipped out to a weird cult on Nathema to gain control of her, but she doesn't exactly return sane. Meanwhile, Thexan was killed, and his brother never quite forgave their father. Later, when Senya saw what Valkorion was doing, she broke up with him and left her family. So, at this point of the story, we have one ghost emperor in the Outlander's skull, a bitter emperor's son, and his crazy sister. Cool? Cool. So, with Arkin in charge, the Alliance began work on bringing him and his empire down. They tasked themselves with recruiting allies to their cause, sabotaging key Zakuulan assets.
I'm guessing Outlander is us because this is all old Republic game graphics.
Things seemed to be going
so, like,
well,
your character.
But on one instance, Arkin accepted the Outlander and dealt them a fatal blow. Thanks to Valkorion, they got better. All in all, Valkorion was helpful in a sick, twisted way. His goal had been to possess the Outlander, use them to take down his kids, then possess him fully and live his best life. The Outlander was aware of his end goal, but they didn't know what to really do about it, so at first, they focused on taking down Zakuul. But the Force was their ally and guided them to an exiled Satil Shan and Darth Maul, who had teamed up and spent the last 5 years philosophizing. They taught the Outlander a new outlook on the Force that would enable them to fight Arkin head-on. Eventually, the conflict escalated and they were able to take Arkin down. Before he could be captured, however, he was rescued by his mother SWTOR. This left his insane sister Vaylin on the throne, who wasn't so much interested in ruling as she was in burning everything down. It took another several months to be able to bring her down, following which the Alliance had to deal with the Eternal Fleet, which was entirely automated and went rogue after Vaylin's fall, commencing bombardments of key worlds across the galaxy. The Outlander brought a stop to this by claiming the Eternal Throne, bringing the fleet under the control of the Alliance. Following this, the Alliance became the Eternal Alliance, a fully fledged galactic superpower that mediated between the Republic and Sith Empire. This state of affairs didn't last long, however. The true nature of the Eternal Fleet is a complicated topic for another day, but suffice to say that a conflict on Iokath essentially wiped it out, crippling the Eternal Alliance, which essentially merged back into the Republic. With the effective end of the Eternal Alliance, it wasn't long before a third galactic war broke out between the Republic and Sith Empire. The Sith, truth be told, had been planning a resumption of hostilities ever since the formation of the Eternal Alliance. Empress Achina had been quietly arming for a new war for years, while publicly working with her soon-to-be enemies against Zakuul, and while Achina perished on Iokath, her successor, Emperor Voron, was eager to follow through on her plans. He began the Third Galactic War with an assault on Ossus, using the former renegade Darth Malgus as a commander for the operation. But as the Sith and the Republic went to war yet again, there was one last loose end from the prior conflicts that had yet to be resolved: Vitiate. Archan's slaying of Valkorion had not finished off the Emperor. He had retained a tie to the world of the living by preserving his original body in stasis and through his presence within the Outlander. During the earlier battle for Zakul, the Outlander had purged his mind of Vitiate, while Lord Scourge and Kira Carson had destroyed his original body at roughly the same time. However, this unleashed a plague that Vitiate had prepared as a failsafe. It rendered Scourge and Kira comatose, and when Satil Shan and her followers came after them, it infected them as well. This plague was Vitiate's final form, and there was only one person left who could stop it: the Outlander. After awakening, Scourge and Kira recruited the Outlander to storm the ship on which Satil and her possessed followers were quarantined, where they hoped to enter the Jedi Master's mind and finish off the Emperor once and for all. Aboard the vessel, they were joined by the spirit of Revan, and together, they entered Satil's mind and confronted the three forms of the Emperor: Valkorion, Darth Vitiate, and his original form, a Sith pureblood known as Tenebrae. The three forms of the Emperor battled the Outlander, Scourge, Kira, and Revan, together having the power to resist all four at once. But then Satil Shan awoke, and the spirits of other enemies of the Emperor joined the fight: Mitra Surik, Darth Ma, and countless others. They were the Emperor's victims, and they were also the ones who knew his weakness, his fear of death. They poured their power into the Outlander, who contained and then destroyed the last traces of the Emperor's spirit. At last, he was gone for good. Meanwhile, war continued. After discovering the teachings of an ancient Sith Lord on Elam, Darth Malgus again broke free of the Empire's control and went his own way. The Sith fought a protracted battle with the Republic over control of Manaan.
Man, Darth Malgus.
The Third Galactic War burned across the galaxy for years before coming to an end, and for decades after the final death of the Emperor, the Sith Empire continued to pose a threat to the galaxy. But it didn't last forever. Over the course of the Galactic Wars, the Sith Empire had undergone several radical transformations. Its three Dark Lords of the Sith, Darth Vitiate, Darth Achina, and Darth Voron, had each made changes to the ideology of the Sith and their approach to the outside galaxy. Over time, a curious trend emerged. The Sith Empire slowly became more Empire than Sith. This was already evident in figures like Darth Ma and Lana Beniko, who notably prioritized their civilization over their own personal power. And in doing so, they went against the fundamental guiding principle of the Sith. Sith ideology was irreconcilable with a stable civilization. The constant struggle for ultimate power precluded the martial unity that empires require. For all prior Sith empires, their Sith ideology ultimately led to schisms and collapse. For the true Sith Empire, however, the opposite occurred. In a bid to keep the Empire stable, the Sith gradually diluted their own ideology to the point where some of the Empire's greatest Sith Lords found common ground with the Jedi. Within a century of the start of the Third Galactic War, the Sith Empire fragmented and was eventually destroyed completely. With it died the Sith purebloods, who went completely extinct as a species within years of its final fall. A few great Sith Lords arose during the Empire's final years, and in the time after its collapse. The last of them was Darth Desilus, a Padawan Jedi Master who became the Dark Lord of the Sith sometime after 3500 BBY. Darth Desilus fought his own brutal war with the Republic and the Jedi, leading an army
he was
of
from
dark-side
Force
acolytes.
Unleashed.
According to legend, he and his followers were said to have slain 2,000 Jedi in battle. But Desilus too was eventually killed, though it was said to have taken the whole Jedi Council to bring him down. The Sith all but died with him. Darth Desilus was the last Dark Lord of the Sith for over 1,000 years. With his death and the final fall of the Sith Empire, the time of the old Sith Wars ended, and the line of the Dark Lords of the Sith, which had been maintained from the time of Ajunta Pal all the way to the days of Darth Desilus, was broken.
It's cool he has
the
a
Jedi
shield.
believed the Sith to be completely extinct, but this wasn't exactly true. A scattering of Sith cults survived on the galactic fringe, preserving the echoes of the old ways in secret. Most were presumably holdouts of the Sith Empire. A few were descended from Revan Sith. It was said that a single Sith Lord had survived too, the disciple of a long line of Sith that had been started by a follower of the Sith Triumvirate. This line continued for over 1,000 years, until the time came for a new Dark Lord to arise and revive the Sith. But that's a story for another time.
Based on this video, I saw a lot of Old Republic game graphics on there, and like a lot of the, you know, like the subtitles and also the graphics, everything. So it looks like everything that was explained in this video is in the game somewhere. I'm guessing, cause and I don't think like when I get to like that point I'm gonna remember all this. Sure, I'll remember like bits of the cinematic trailers, but I don't think I'm gonna remember all this, because right now I plan on right now I'm playing as a Sith warrior, but I plan on playing at least one more storyline. Well, see how where it goes, because like I said, I don't know how this part like plays into the game, or like how to access it, you know. But we'll see what happens. But either way, this was a really great video, and man, that Emperor really is like stubborn and just like kept on like making fail safes for fail safes over and over again to make sure he will survive, or he will like he will bring like a lot of destruction if he like dies or anything. But wow, this was a really great video, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and keep an eye out for more content, and I hope you enjoyed my reaction to this video. And again, thank you guys so much for your guys' support in this channel. It's literally amazing to see, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day or night wherever you guys are, and I'll see you guys next time.